Boudreau.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the channel. Now, on May 2nd, we got the Cleveland Indians taking on the Chicago White Sox in game one of a three-game series. And leading off for the visiting Cleveland Indians, playing second, Nat Blajaway. Batting second, playing left field, Shoeless Joe Jackson. Batting third, playing first base, Hal Trusky. Batting fourth, playing third base, Al Rosen. Batting fifth, playing right field, Rocky Colavito. Batting sixth, playing center field, Tris Speaker. Batting seventh, playing shortstop, Lou Boudreau. Batting eighth, doing the catching, Steve O'Neill. Batting ninth and doing the pitching is Mike Garcia. And for the Chicago White Sox hometown team, we got leading off playing shortstop Luke Appling, batting second, playing second Eddie Collins, batting third, playing left field Carl Reynolds, batting fourth rather, playing first is Zeke Benor, batting fifth, playing center field Minnie Mioso, batting sixth, playing right field Bib Falk, batting seventh, playing third base Buck Weaver, batting eighth and doing the catching is Sherm Lore, and on the mound, batting ninth is Eddie CICOTTE. Let's get down here to Chicago and get this game going. And to lead it off here for the Indians is Nat Blajaway, batting .357 with a homer and 7 RBIs, going up against Eddie CICOTTE. His fourth appearance of the year, he's a 1-0 with a 3.52 ERA. And here's the pitch to Nat. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Buck Weaver. He fires over to Zeke for out number one. And Shoeless Joe comes to the plate, batting .368 with 2 homers and 13 RBIs. And that's going to be against a righty at 21. And that's going to be a ground ball down back to the mound. Eddie's got it. He's up with it, fires over the first for 2 outs. And Hal Trusky comes to the plate. And Trusky's batting .320, 6 homers, 16 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Zeke at first. 1, 2, 3 goes the drive. To the bottom of the first we go. Indians nothing. White Sox sending up Appling, Collins, and Reynolds. And Luke's batting .283 with no homers and 8 RBIs. Mike Garcia, this is his third appearance. He's 1-1 with a 5.14 ERA. And the pitch to Luke. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes Appling out for out number one. And Eddie Collins comes to the plate. And Eddie is batting .179. No homers and no RBIs. And he gets a hold of this one now off of Garcia. And that ball is high. How far is this ball going to travel, folks? And that ball is out of here. Kiss it goodbye. Eddie Collins with a solo shot gives the White Sox a 1-0 lead as the people in Chicago yet to take their seats are cheering here with a 1-0 lead. Carl Reynolds comes to the plate now, batting .344. He's got 4 homers and 14 RBIs. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. So Garcia, 2 outs, both of them by the strikeout. But in between's been a home run. And that'll bring up Zeke. And Zeke's batting .208. He's got 2 homers and 6 RBIs. And he gets a hold of this. So it looks like every other batter's going to get a hit here. And that ball is high. And how far is this one going to travel, folks? Not far enough. That one's off the wall out there in right field. And that's going to be a double. And Zeke just couldn't quite square it up. Nice job by Garcia getting it off the heart of the bat. But you got a runner down at second. White Sox already up by 1. And Minnie Miosa's up, batting .233 on the year with a homer and 7 RBIs. And that's going to be a base on balls. So Minnie trots on down to first. The White Sox trying to add to this 1-0 lead here. And up to the plate now is Bib Falk, batting .263. He's got 3 homers and 12 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down the Knapp at second. Nope, that's going to be a pop-up to Knapp at second. That'll end the inning. But the homer gives the White Sox a 1-0 lead. And we go to the top of the second. You can see Chicago's upcoming schedule. They got 2 more games here in Chicago against the Indians. Then the Yankees come to town for 2 games. And then Philadelphia A's come to town. Let's do that now. Let's change that while we're thinking about it. Give me a second here, folks. We'll go in here and change that to Philadelphia. Team editor. And where is the Philadelphia A's? We'll edit them and change their call letters to, let's see what the other Phillies call letters are so don't duplicate it. FI. So we'll do this as FH. We'll do FHA. Alrighty, take care of a little clerical work here. A little clerical work taken care of now. And we'll go back to the game now. Now we're back to the game. Now a little clerical there. And it didn't take yet, did it? Still says KC. Well, we'll see if it changes here in the future. Al Rosen's up now, batting .167 and 2 homers and 3 RBIs. And here's the pitch to Al. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Reynolds and left for out number 1. And Rocky Colavito's up now. And Rock is batting .333, 2 homers and 8 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Zeke. And 2 up and 2 down here in the second. And Trish Speaker's up now. And Trish is batting .294 with 3 homers and 8 RBIs. And he gets a hold of this. Trish Speaker is going to get the first base hit for the Indians. And that ball is laced in the right field for a double. So Speaker with a 2-out double down at second. And 2 outs. And up to the plate is Mr. Lou Bordeaux. And Lou's only batting .091 on the year, folks. And that's going to be a pop-up down the short. And that'll end the inning. Luke makes the play. And the Indians strand 1. We go to the bottom of the second. And it's a 1-0 ball game. And you can see the Indians' upcoming schedule. They stay here in Cleveland for 2 more games, go on the road to Baltimore for a game, and then on the road to Detroit. We got Weaver, Lohr, and CICOTTE due up here, the bottom part of the order. And Buck is batting .300, no homers and 2 RBIs. And Buck gets a hold of this one. See where this ball is going to end up at. It's going to end up in right field against the wall. And Buck Weaver's got a leadoff double. So Buck down at second with nobody out. And up to the plate is Sherm. Lohr is batting .250. He's got a homer and 6 RBIs. Weaver down there in scoring position. And the White Sox already up by 1. And that's going to be a ground ball down the short. and a pop-up down the short. And that'll be out number 1. And we'll bring up Eddie CICOTTE now. And Eddie's 0 for 6 on the year. Can he help his own cause with Weaver in scoring position? And that's going to be a ground ball down the first. 55 and a 3. 55 and a 3 is going to be fielding column 3, I'm sure. And it is. So that'll be a ground ball down the first over to Mike covering. The runner will get down the third. So now you got a runner down in third. 2 outs for Luke Appling. Appling struck out his first time up. And not this time. Let's see here, against the righty, a 19. That's going to be a fly ball in the left field. Jackson makes a nice play for out number 3. And the White Sox strand a runner at third. To the top of the third we go. We got O'Neill, Garcia, and then back to Knapp. Top of the order after that. And O'Neill is batting .083. No homers and no RBIs. And now he gets a base hit to start this inning off. A leadoff single in the right. And Carl Reynolds is up now. No, he's not. Let's get the right team up here, huh? After O'Neill, it should be Mike Garcia. Now we're cooking with fire. And Garcia is going to try to bunt him over to second. And that's a nice bunt by Garcia. Back to the mound. The only play for Eddie is over to first with Collins covering. And that'll be out number 1. But the runner does get in scoring position. And back to Knapp Lodge, away we go. And he grounded out the third and back in the first. And that's going to be against the righty, 22. And that's going to be a single in the right field. O'Neill, not great speed, probably going to have to hold that third, but we'll check it out here with 1 out. So, single in the right field. And that's going to be a 42. Falk with a good arm out there. And yeah, O'Neill's going to stop at third. So that's a single. Runners on the corner with 1 out. And the White Sox looking for the double play to get out of this. They'll play back with a 1-run lead. Shoeless Joe's up. He grounded out to the pitcher his first time up. And that's going to be hit down the short. Can they turn 2 is the question. 23 on an 8's definitely fielding column number 1. And with the defense back, that's going to be the old 6. That's going to be the old 6-4-3 double play. The White Sox get out of the mess with nobody scoring. We go to the bottom of the third. It's still 1-0 White Sox. You got Collins, Reynolds, and Zeke due up here. And Eddie, he homered his first time up for the only run of this ball game. And he's smoking hot. That's going to be a base hit in the right field. Collins with a leadoff single. Eddie trying to single-handedly win this game for the White Sox. So he's down at first. And let's see if he's going to take off here. 23, right? That'd be, it's a 25 minus 3, a 22. 22. That'll be a 44 or lower. He steals second. And he's in there with a stolen base. Eddie's down at second with nobody out. So runner in scoring position and nobody out for Reynolds. Reynolds struck out his first time up. And not this time, folks. I'd ball as high. I'd ball as far. How far is this one going to travel against Garcia? 20. And that's a home run, folks. Kiss it goodbye. Carl Reynolds makes this a 3-run lead here. So that one makes the bleachers out there in right field an upper decker. And Zeke's up now with nobody on and a 3-0 lead. And still nobody out here in the third. And Zeke, he doubled his first time up. And that's going to be a rare play, a 35 and a 37. 35 on a 37 is going to be hit out in center field. Speakers out there. And a 62 on a 3. What is that? That's barely column number 2, I believe. Yep, that's column number 2. And what was that? That was a 6, right? 30, yep, a 6. So that's going to be first, second, and third on air. F runner scores. S runner out at third. So no. Zeke's going to be out at third. So that's going to be a error. And the runner's going to be out at third. So it's going to be an error on speaker. And the runner is going to be out at third. Not at home, so we'll go back. He's supposed to be out at third. Redo this. Out at third. So it's an error on speaker. And the batter's going to be out at third. So now you got Mini Mioso up and nobody on and 1 out. And Mini, he walked his first time up. And he's going to drill this one. Of course he does after somebody gets thrown out, right? And that ball is high. That ball is far. That ball is going. And Mark Garcia's given up their gopher balls today, folks. 3 home runs, 4 runs in. 4 of them off the home run. He's giving up gopher ball after gopher ball. Bib Falk is up. That'll get the bullpen up here in the third. And Falk is 0 for 1. He popped up to second his first time up. And that's going to be a ground ball back to Mike. He tosses it over to first for out number 2. That brings up Buck Weaver now. And Weaver is 1 for 1. He doubled his first time up. And that's going to be a ground ball down the out in front of the plate. 55 and an 8. And that's going to be fielding column 2. And that's going to be an error on O'Neill. He can't handle the Baltimore chop. So Weaver's on now with 2 outs. And Lore's up. See if Sherm can keep this inning going. He lined out the shortest first time up. Hit a bullet down there to Lou. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Lou. He'll fire across the diamond to get Sherm. But the White Sox score 3 on 2 home runs in the inning. To the top of the 4th we go. We got Trusky, Rosen, and Calavita due up here for the Tribe. And Trusky's 0 for 1. He grounded out the first time up. And that's going to be a fly ball out to center field for out number 1. And now we can see that it says the Philadelphia A's instead of Kansas City. And now you got Al Rosen up. He flew out to left his first time up. And that's going to be a fly ball out the right field. And Bibbs got the beat on it, makes the catch for out number 2. It's up to Rocky Calavita to get something started here in the 4th. Calavita grounded out the first back in the 2nd. And that's going to be a fly ball out the center field. Mini makes the catch. 1, 2, 3 goes the Indians. To the bottom of the 4th we go. And you got CICOTTE due up, followed by Appling and Collins. And you can see Cleveland is 8-5 on the year with a 259 batting average and a 338 on base percentage, slugging 508 and an OPS of 846. And the White Sox are 8-8, batting 248 with a 326 on base percentage, slugging a 501 and an OPS of 827. And CICOTTE grounded out the first time up. That's going to be a ground ball down the Lou at short. He fires over to Howe, out number 1. And here's Luke. And Luke is 0 for 2, struck out and flown out. And that's going to be a fly ball out the right field. That'll be out number 2. 2 quick outs here. Here comes Eddie Collins, who hit the home run back in the first. He's 2 for 2. He has homered and singled and stolen a base and came around the score both times. And this will be the first time they get Eddie out. That's another ground ball down the short and another out. So the White Sox go down in order. Indians coming to bat with Speaker, Burjoe, and O'Neill. Trish doubled his first time up. And that's going to be hit into right field. And Falk's out there, 36 and a 2, should be a 2. And it is. And that's going to be a single in the right. Bibb can't quite get to it. So a base hit here for Speaker. He's aboard for the second time. And Lou steps up to the plate now. And Lou, he popped up the short his first time up to his counterpart. And now that's going to be against a 21. That is going to be a ground ball down the second. 52 and a 9. Still might be filling column 1. And it is. No, get the lead runner out. That's going to be a double play. Yep, with an S batter. That's a double play. Nice play down there by Collins. That's the old 4-6-3 double play. They double up Lou. He couldn't beat the throw. So now there's 2 outs and nobody on for O'Neill. And Steve is 1 for 1. He singled his first time up. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Collins again. Now to end the inning. And the Indians go down with the double play in order. And now you got Reynolds due up here, followed by Zeke and Minnie. And Carl is 1 for 2. He hit a 2-run homer his last time up. Excuse me, and struck out back in the first. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. Nope, that's going to be a pop-up down the short for out number 1. 1 down here in the 5th. And here comes Zeke. And Zeke is 1 for 2. He doubled and reached on an air. He's been on base both times. Got thrown out trying to stretch it into a 3 bag error. And that's going to be a ground ball down the nap. He tosses it over to Trusky for out number 2. Here comes Minnie Mioso up now. And Minnie, he is 1 for 1. He hit a solo shot his first time up. Walked back in the first. And that's another ground ball down to Lou. That'll end the inning. White Sox go in order. We go to the 6th. It's still 4-0 Chicago. And we got Garcia, Lajoie, and Jackson due up here in the 6th. Eddie, he had a sacrifice spun his first time up. Mike, rather. And that's a base on balls, walking the pitcher and the leadoff batter. Not the smart move with a 4-run lead. Let's see if that bites him in the butt. Knapp is 1 for 2. He singled in the 3rd, grounded out in the 1st. And that's going to be a ground ball down the. Nope, that's going to be a hit by pitch unless he's an HB. Nope, he's not. A hit by pitch. And Eddie's got some control problems here in the 6th. He's walked a batter and now hit a batter. I don't believe that was done on purpose. Tribe's chirping a little bit, but like I said, I don't believe it's on purpose. Here comes Shoeless Joe up now. He's 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice, once to the pitcher and once into a 6-4-3 double play. And not this time. That ball is blasted, folks. And that is going to be against a 21. And he doesn't have an L. That's going to be a double in the right center. And 2. Don't think he's going to try to score here. 36 with nobody out. Down by 4. Let's see here. Right fielder is a 30. Yeah, he's going to stay put here with 2 outs. Double in the right center. And that's going to make it a 4-1 ball game. And that's going to get a little bit of stirring up in the bullpen. And now you got second and third and still nobody out for Trusky. And Howe is 0 for 2. He's grounded out and flown out. And with a 3-run lead, White Sox will play back here. And that's going to be a fly ball out the right field. 53 and a 2. That's probably going to be fielding column 3. And it is. And that'll score Knapp easily. And I believe Jackson will get down the third easily. So that's going to be a sacrifice fly. Both runners tag up. And now it's a 4-2 to cut this lead in half. You got a runner on third and 1 out. And you have Al Rosen up now. And again, they'll play back for the out here. Rosen's 0 for 2. He's flown out the left and right. And that's going to be another fly ball out the left. And let's see here. We need to re-roll a dice. And that'll be a 30. And I think just Shoeless Joe. He's up next after Rosen. Rocky Calavito. Let's see here. Fly ball in the left of 30. Reynolds doesn't have a good arm, though. And I think Shoeless Joe's going to try to score here. A 44 or lower, he scores from third. Ken Reynolds throw him out. A 44 or lower, he's in there safely. And he's barely in there, and Sherm is jumping mad, folks. He thought for sure he was out, but the ump says otherwise. And it's a 1-run ball game here with nobody on and 2 outs for Rocky Calavito. Try and run up to the plate now after the Indians have scored 3 here in the 6th. Calavito 0 for 2. He's grounded out and flown out. And that's a base on balls. They go out to talk to Eddie as they get somebody up in the bullpen. And it looks like it's so well. Joe's up in the pen. And Tris Speaker's up, and he's a perfect 2 for 2. He doubled in the 2nd, singled in the 5th. Runner down at first and 2 outs. And that's going to be 2 balls and no strikes as Eddie has lost control here in the 6th. And on that 0-2 pitch, that's going to be hit in the right field. Bibb makes the play. And that ends the inning, but 3 runs come across. It's a 4-3 ball game. We go to the bottom of the 6th. And we have Bibb Falk. He is up, followed by Weaver and Sherm. Bibb's 0 for 2. He's popped up and grounded out as Ken Castro joins us here. And that's going to be a well-hit ball by Bibb. Where's this ball going to end up at, folks? And that ball is driven into the gap out in left field, and it's rolling around. And Bibb's a brown-eyed, handsome man headed for third. He's in there with a leadoff triple. First game of the series, yeah, Ken. Yep. So now you got the go-ahead run down, insurance run down at third. and they can't afford to let anybody score, so they're going to bring the infield in. And let's see here. They're going to let Mike try to get through this inning here with Weaver up. Weaver doesn't hit lefties well. Neither does Sherm. They might go to the bullpen here. Let's bring in a lefty. Let's see here. Do they got a lefty in the bullpen? That is the question. And they don't. They don't have a lefty in the bullpen. Indians do not have a lefty in the bullpen. Yeah, they do. They're a damn good team. They're 8-5 right now. Right there, Ken. Yep. Like I say, they don't have a lefty in the bullpen. Let me see here. Yeah, they do. But do they want to go to Don already? That is the question. That's too early to go to Don. He's the only lefty they got. Yep. So they're going to let Mike pitch here since they don't have a lefty really to go to. They're going to bring the infield in against Weaver. Nobody out. Weaver's 1 for 2, doubled in the second, reached on an error in the third. Here's the pitch to Buck. And that's going to be an 11 against a 18. And that's going to be a single. And the runner's going to score unless he's an S. That's an infield hit. Oh, nice job by Weaver. Drives that ball off the glove of Lou down at short. And the run scores. And that might be it for Mike anyway. Sure ain't going to take speaker out. Let's just bring somebody in to get through this inning. That's what we're going to do here. So Gus Wynn's going to come in here and try to get out of this inning. And he'll be pitched hit for in the 7th. As Mike can't make it through this 6th. So here comes Gus. Where's old Gus at? Where's Wynn at? There he is at the top. So Early's going to come into the game here. And it's now a 2-run lead. And Early, this is his 4th appearance. He has no record with a 6.23 ERA. Nobody out. Runner down at first. And a tank, Sherm, is up lower. And he's 0 for 2. He did line a hell of a hit down at short. Lou robbed him and then a ground ball. And here's the pitch to Sherm, looking for the double play ball. Are the Indians, and that's not going to happen against the righty. That'll be a 13, and that's going to be a fly ball out to center field. Nice play by Speaker to rob Sherm of a base hit. And Eddie's up now. Eddie's going to try to bunt him down the 2nd. Eddie is 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice. And that's going to be a... That's going to be bunted down the 3rd. Rosen's up with it. And he's going to fire over to Trusky at first, but the runner will get in scoring position. With 2 outs now. And back to the top of the order we go. And then Luke Appling. And Luke is 0 for 3. He struck out and flown out to the corners left and right. And that's going to be a ground ball down the nap at 2nd. That'll end the inning. But the White Sox score a run and make it a 2-run game. We go to the top of the 7th. 5-3 Chicago. As you can see, the Indians have struck out 66 times, but they walked 81, hit 62 doubles and 11 triples. The White Sox have struck out only 35 times, walked 65 times, hit 30 doubles and 13 triples. And we got Lou O'Neill and a pinch hitter for win. And Bordeaux is 0 for 2. He is popped up and grounded out. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Weaver. He fires over to first for out number 1. And O'Neill steps up to the plate now. He singled back in the third and grounded out his other time up. And that's going to be a 22. That's going to be a swing and a miss. He strikes out O'Neill. Now we'll have a pitch hitter here for win. Let's see who's going to come off the bench here against Eddie CICOTTE. Most of the lefties are already in the game. So Joe's going to come off the bench and try to get on here with 2 outs. So well. And where's Joe? Saying ain't so. Joe's on the other team. And so well is batting .333, no homers and 1 RBI. And that's a base hit in the right field. So Joe gets the job done here and gets on board. That brings the tying run to the plate. And Nap Lajoie's up now. And Nap is 1 for 2. He singled in the third, been hit by a pitch in the sixth, and grounded out in the first. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Luke at short. He fires over to first. And that ends the inning. And the Indians strand 1. We go to the 7th inning stretch. Let's see here. And Wes Farley's going to come in the game here for the Indians. And Wes, this is his 4th appearance. He's 1-0 with no ERA. He's going to be facing Collins, Reynolds, and Zeke. Eddie is 2 for 3. He's got a solo homer. He singled and stole a base back in the third and grounded out in the fourth. And that's going to be a fly ball out to Jackson and left for out number 1. And Reynolds is up now. And he's 1 for 3 with a 2-run homer back in the third. He struck out and popped up his other 2 times up. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Rosen. He fires over to first for 2 outs here in the 7th. And it's up to Zeke to get on base here. And he's 1 for 3. He doubled and reached on an error and grounded out his last time up. And that's going to be a rare play, 34 on a 41. And that's going to be a ball 1-1-0 pitch here to Zeke. And that's going to be another ball. So 2-0 pitch. And he drives this 2-0 pitch. Zeke works the count to his favor and makes it pay off. And that ball is ripped in the left field. And he's going to run for a while. And that's going to be a triple for Zeke. So a 2-out triple. And Minnie Mioso's up now with an insurance run 90 feet away. But there's 2 outs. And Minnie is 1 for 2. He homered back in the third. Walked in the first, grounded out in the 5th. And that's going to be a team. It's going to be a pop fly out to left field. Jackson comes running in, makes the catch, and that'll end the inning. We go to the top of the 8th. The White Sox strand 1. We got Jackson, Trusky, and Rosen due up here against Eddie. And this probably will be Eddie's last. Well, He's due up fourth in the eighth. Jackson's 1 for 3. He doubled, came around the score, and drove in a run in the sixth. And that's going to be a ground ball down the second. Collins has got it for out number 1. And Hal Trusky's up now. And Trusky, he's 0 for 2, but he did have a sacrifice fly back in the sixth. And that's going to be a fly ball. Nope, that's going to be a ground ball down the third. Weaver's up with it. Fires over to Zeke for out number 2. So it's up to Al Rosen to get aboard here. He's 0 for 2. He had a sacrifice fly back in the sixth and flown out to the corners. His other 2 up. Time's up. And that's a base on balls. And now the tying run comes to the plate, and Rocky Colavito, not who you want to see up here if you're a White Sox fan. And Rocky's 0 for 2. He has grounded out and flown out and walked back in the sixth. And that's going to be a ground ball down to Luke at short. He goes the short way over to Collins. That ends the inning. Indian strand 1 to the bottom of the eighth we go. Falk, Weaver, and Sherm due up. Bibb is tripled back in the sixth, came around the score. He is 1 for 3, and he's going to be 2 for 4 as he gets a hold of this one, folks. And that's going to be a double in the right field. Bibb with a leadoff double here in the eighth. And Buck Weaver's up now. White Sox up by 2, trying to add to it. The West is on the mound here, trying to hold it to a 2-run lead to give the Indians a chance in the ninth. Weaver's a 2 for 3 today. A double, a single, and reached on an air. He's been on base all 3 times. And that's going to be against the righty. That'll be a 15 and an 11. Yep, 15 and 11. And that's going to be a single in the left field. And Jackson's got a gun out there. I don't see him trying to score on this. Not with nobody out. He's going to stay put. So that ball was driven out to left field. And Bibb's going to stop at third. So it's first and third. And Lore's up. Let's see here. And that might be it for Wes. Got Lore due up. A pitch hitter for CICOTTE. Then Appling. So it looks like Wes can't get out of this eighth inning. So that's going to be it for Wes. And Bob Lemon's going to come out of the bullpen, try to hold this lead to 2 runs. They're going to have to play the infield in. So Wes goes 1 inning plus 3 hits. And 2 guys are still his responsibility. As Bob Lemon's going to come in the game. See if he can hold these White Sox without scoring here. First and third, nobody out, infield in. And the tank, Sherm, is up. He is 0 for 3, lined out, grounded out to short, and flew out to center. And that's going to be a fly ball out to center. 45, that'll be fielding column 3. And 48. Who's up after Sherm? A pitch hitter. 48. He's going to tag up here. Bibb's going to tag up and try to score. That'll be a 54 or lower. He'll be safe at the plate. And they nail him. Tris Speaker nails him at the plate. Nice play out there by Speaker. And the runner's thrown out, tagging up. Now there's 2 outs and a runner down at first. That was a game changer there by Speaker. Throws out Bibb. Now we'll have a pitch hitter here for Eddie. And now there's a runner down at first. Let's see who's going to come off the bench here. Is it going to be old Nelly or Harry Hooper. And I think it's going to be Hooper's going to come off the bench. Try to keep this 8th inning alive and maybe add to this 2-run lead. And Harry is batting .333 on the year with 1 homer and 5 RBIs. And that's going to be a ground ball back to Bob. Matter of fact, he's going to swing and miss and strike out old Harry. Now to win the 8th. A nice play out there by Speaker. Cuts down the runner coming home. And it's still a 5-3 game. See who's going to come out of the pen here and try to lock this game down. And Staley's coming out of the pen. See if old Jerry can hold this 2-run lead here. Come on. Where's Jerry at? This is Jerry's 6th appearance. He's got 1 save on the year with a 1.69 ERA. He'll be facing Speaker, Burjo, and O'Neill. Trish is 2 for 3. He has a double and a single and flown out the right. And that's going to be against a righty, a 17. That's going to be an infield hit. Speaker gets aboard here with a leadoff single. And the tying run comes to plate, and Lou Bordeaux. Let's see if Speaker, well, his run means nothing. So he's going to stay put. Plus, that's a nice catcher, and Staley's got a hell of a hold factor. So Speaker's run means nothing. So he's going to stay there. Lou's 0 for 3. He's grounded out twice and popped up the short his other time up. That's going to be a fly ball out to left field. Reynolds makes the catch for out number 1. And here comes O'Neill. And he's 1 for 3 today. Singled back in the 3rd, grounded out and struck out. And that's the old doctor ordered double play ball down the 2nd, over to the Appling, over to Zeke. 4-6-3 double play ends this game, folks. And the White Sox win 5-3. We'll take a look here at the box score. Nice game. Nice game to start this series off with. And the White Sox 5 runs on 11 hits and no errors. The Indians 3 runs, 7 hits and 2 errors. And the only Indian with a multiple hit game was Speaker, going 3 for 4. The Tribe were 2 for 3 with runners in scoring position, just couldn't get them there. They only left 5 men on base. And Buck Weaver with a 3 for 4 game, Zeke a 2 for 4 game, and Eddie Collins 2 for 4. You had Collins, Reynolds, and Mioso with homers. And you had 2 triples by Zeke and Bibb. Bibb and Zeke had a double, too. Nice job by those guys. The White Sox were 3 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Left 7 men on. Had a chance to bust the game open. Garcia only goes 5 innings. Definitely not a great performance by him. He falls to 1-2. 8 hits, 5 runs, walked 1, struck out 2, and gave up the 3 homers. Wynn comes in, pitches 1 good inning. West comes in, makes it interesting in that he pitched an inning plus, gave up 3 hits, but no runs came across. Bob comes in and shuts him down that inning, struck out 1. And Eddie goes 8 innings, picks up his second win. He's 2-0, 6 hits, 3 runs, walked 3, struck out 1. And Jerry Staley comes in, gets his second save, 1 inning, 1 hit. Let's take a look now at the standings and the leaderboards here in the American League. And you got the Yankees are a game and a half up on the Tigers. Indians are now 2 games back. The White Sox 2.5. Senators 3.5. Boston 4. A's 5. And the Orioles 5.5. Ted Williams still leading with that .463 batting average. Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth with 9 home runs apiece. And Williams with 18 RBIs. Got Bob Shalkey with a .4 ERA. Chesbro and Walsh with 3 wins. And Joe Page leading with 5 saves. Mr. Lou Gehrig's leading in the MVP race. And Ed Walsh is leading in the best pitcher. I want to thank Ken Castro for joining us here. Let's see what the pitching matchup looks like for game number 2 of this series. And we're going to have Yule going up against Scott in game number 2. So that's Yule pitching for the Tribe, Scott for the White Sox. Hope you enjoyed what you've seen. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell for reminders, and hit that like button and leave a comment on your way out. Till next time, you all have a great day and take care.